CBS 6 News at 6 starts now.
Multiple employees at the Colonial Heights Rehabilitation and Nursing Center have been arrested with charges ranging from abuse and neglect of vulnerable adults to falsifying patient records. Thanks for joining us here at 6. I'm Julie Bragg.
And I'm Bill Fitzgerald. In just a bit, our Melissa Hippolyte will share what she's uncovered over the past several months about that facility. And our senior reporter Wayne Koval was the only journalist on scene when the arrests were being made. He joins us live now from Colonial Heights. Wayne?
Bill, the director of this facility, and a nurse are behind bars tonight without bond, and they are just 2 of the 18 employees that police have warrants for, and more charges are possible after a patient here was transferred to a hospital and died. Colonial Heights police and officials with multiple state agencies descended upon the Colonial Heights Rehabilitation and Nursing Center Wednesday morning. Every employee driving into work stopped by a police officer, their driver's license checked to see if their picture and name were on the list facing charges.
We have secured warrants on 18 individuals who are staff members at Colonial Heights Rehabilitation and Nursing Center.
The charges come after a patient here, a 74-year-old woman, ended up at a local hospital.
Unfortunately, this female patient did not receive adequate care at the facility, had to be transported to a hospital, and she did not recover from that as a result of the treatment that she received at the nursing facility.
In early October, Adult Protective Services contacted Colonial Heights Police about a possible elder abuse case. Multiple local and state agencies began investigating the facility, including the State Attorney General's Elder Abuse Task Force, who were on hand Wednesday morning as arrests were being made.
Ranging from nursing staff all the way to the director of the facility.
Both felony and misdemeanor charges include abuse of adults who are in a vulnerable situation, falsifying patient records, and obstruction of justice. Some employees facing multiple charges.
A nurse who's being charged with 5 counts of misdemeanor. Falsifying patient records.
CBS 6 cameras also capture bags of evidence being taken from the facility Wednesday morning.
During the investigation, our investigators, as well as investigators with the Elder Abuse Task Force, have secured and served multiple search warrants on the facility in order to obtain medical records and other records associated with this crime.
In a statement to CBS 6, Delegate Mike Cherry says the Virginia Department of Health has staff on the ground to ensure that all residents are receiving proper care and will remain involved to ensure that the proper individuals are placed in leadership positions moving forward. This afternoon, the facility released this statement to CBS 6. We are aware of the events that happened today and are cooperating fully with law enforcement. Colonial Heights police tell me they are still working to make all 18 arrests. So far, 7 people have been taken into custody. Police are also asking for the public's help. If you've had friends or family in this facility and have seen similar situations to the one that we've described tonight, they ask that you give them a call. In Colonial Heights, Wayne Koval, CBS 6 News.
Thank you, Wayne. And our Melissa Hippolyte has reported on that facility several times in the past.
Tonight, she's sharing what her investigations have uncovered and how they led to action by the Virginia Department of Health.
This definitely isn't the first time we have reported on issues with this facility. In July, we told you the Virginia Department of Health cited the Colonial Heights Rehabilitation and Nursing Center for violating federal rules after our investigation into an attack on a social worker by a resident. Now, after that report, VDH says they visited the facility in August of 2024 to investigate 9 different complaints. Our May 2023 investigation focused on how the nursing home handled the case of Cassie Ortiz, a social worker who was violently assaulted by a patient at the facility.
And he just would not let me go. So I was very scared.
While the facility provides short-term rehab and long-term care, Ortiz said when she was there, more than 20 psych patients lived on site.
Our job is to not manage psychiatric patients. We're not equipped to do that.
As a direct result of our report, the VDH's Office of Licensure and Certification initiated an investigation and found 4 violations of federal rules, including failure to investigate and report allegations of abuse involving one resident to the appropriate regulatory agencies on 10 occasions. A month and a half after their inspection, VDH followed up with the center to ensure they fixed the problems. VDH found they had, but we learned the follow-up visit was an off-site paper review as opposed to an in-person visit. Now, in terms of Wednesday's police presence at the facility, a spokeswoman for VDH told me, independent of law enforcement, VDH's Office of Licensure and Certification is currently conducting an investigation into this provider. Due to the ongoing criminal investigation, VDH cannot comment further on this matter at this time. Colonial Heights Rehabilitation and Nursing Center has 1 star in a 5-star rating system on Medicare.gov. Their staffing rating is also a 1 out of 5. The number of time a nurse is able to spend with a patient there is far lower than the national average. Nurse turnover rates are also far higher than the national average. I'm Melissa Hippolyte for CBS 6.
And we're still in that stretch of mild weather these days.
I know, weirdly mild weather.
Is Christmas really around the corner? Is that good? I see your tie, but
that's right.
Otherwise...
You are Christmassy.
A little bit festive today, yes. Weather is not on par yet with what you'd expect for this time of the year, but it's coming, and the pendulum's going to swing from one side to the other as what is considered normal never quite is the norm here in Virginia. We're always kind of on one side or the other. Out there right now, some light rainfall up across parts of Caroline County, back into western sections of Hanover County, southeast sections of Louisa County, some rain, a little bit heavier showers out in Goochland County, just a little bit west of 522, and northern sections of Cumberland County, so north of 60, right along 45, and out toward Dillwyn, some sprinkles. Then we've got some heavy showers and even some thunderstorms. Every now and then a little bit of lightning in here, and this is going to be from Lynchburg down to just north and west of Danville. All of this continues to move from west to east. So this line of showers with some thunderstorms down south continues to head on into central and southern Virginia. Cold front is just now entering Virginia, and behind that, more showers will be likely later on tonight. Temperatures range from the mid-60s to our south to the upper 40s to our north and west, and we'll have the cooler air moving in later on tonight, and temperatures will be slow to fall through 11 o'clock at least. It'll be after that when the front comes through the temperatures will really cool down a bit. We'll have a chance for some showers this evening, so take the umbrella with you if we're headed out for this evening. We'll talk more about what to expect heading toward Christmas coming up.
All right, thank you, Zach. A Petersburg man faced a string of life-threatening health crises last year. Now, the one thing he really needs as he tries to adjust to his new normal, his Social Security disability benefits. But it's been a struggle. That is, until I contacted the SSA to ask whether someone might look into his case to see what the holdup was.
I went in for a simple cough. They come back. Your labs are out of whack.
Lawrence Mallory got bad news last April. His diabetes had progressed to the point of kidney failure, but it got even worse for the 41-year-old.
The next following week, they're checking for blockages. They're saying, okay, you got to have open heart surgery. You have to have a quadruple bypass because they had 5 blockages in your heart.
Mallory's world had suddenly changed dramatically, and the longtime call center supervisor would have to learn to ask for help.
That really put a stop to like my whole life almost, because I was so used to doing what I wanted to do, working, being able to do and maintain and do everything I wanted to do myself and not depending on people.
An even more important source of help would be getting disability benefits from the Social Security Administration, which he applied for once he was released from the hospital. It did not go well.
Got to the interview part, they said, hey, well, we can't continue because the caseworker didn't close out your case. That was June. When they rescheduled, my interview was October.
That holdup at the Petersburg office meant waiting 4 extra months with no income. But Mallory says even once he had his interview and was told his application was in order, he heard nothing for weeks.
They get put out because they're waiting. Who has 200 days to wait for a simple answer?
So in addition to checking his account online, he started asking at the office itself. His face-to-face interactions were not productive.
When she looked and saw it was me, "What are you doing back down here? I thought I told you we had everything we need." To me, that's an insult. That's the wrong words to say to somebody, because you don't know what a person is going through. It sent me into a depression. Like I said, I didn't want to be around people. I didn't want to be bothered.
That's when Mallory reached out to CBS 6. I contacted a spokesperson at the Richmond office to see if someone could talk to Mallory about the status of his application. She responded that someone would follow up with him.
It put fire under them, because before then, I got no calls, nothing. After contacting you all, 4 people called me that day to follow up on my case, to let me know. But that's the only thing I was asking at the beginning. It was some type of answer.
Mallory says thanks to his very understanding landlord, he has not had to leave his home. But he says he worries about others going through the same struggle he has, and knows in some respects he's been lucky.
I thank God for my family, like my mother and my father, because if it wasn't for them, I don't know where I would be in this situation. But I feel bad sometimes because my mother is 75, my dad is 70. They're still getting up and going to work when they shouldn't be. I should be taking care of them or doing something, but the roles has been reversed. And they're taking out of their pocket. I know they're on a fixed income. They're taking out of their pocket to help me when I should be helping them with situations.
I asked the SSA spokesperson whether the Petersburg office had seen a significant number of complaints. Instead, she said, nationally, the administration works to do well by an unprecedented number of beneficiaries, while staff, she wrote, is at a 50-year low. Now, as for Mallory, his benefits will not cover the loss of income he faces. So if you would like to help, I put a link to his GoFundMe at WTVR.com.
Showing support to those working to make a change for the holidays. After the break, see how our Maggie Marshall is surprising an organization empowering women in our CBS 6 Month of Giving. Lane?
Julie, coming up in sports, we'll run down a very busy night of college hoops, some good news for Denny Hamlin in his lawsuit against NASCAR, and why the Commanders and their fans may not have seen the last of Jonathan Allen this season. Your Rosie's play of the day. We showed you the goal yesterday. Well, the Catamounts of the University of Vermont returned to campus in Burlington today with the school's first ever national championship. Vermont knocked off Marshall in overtime to win the NCAA Division I title, the first in team history. UVM, as it's known, has had skiers win individual titles, but something like this has never happened for the school of just over 12,000 students. I went to school across Lake Champlain from UVM. No pro teams up there. I mean, Vermont, you know, it's a ski school.
Yeah.
For them to win this is huge. They will be talking about this for generations.
And they are the coolest fan base ever. Everybody loves people at UVM.
The
like
Catamounts.
You said, they've never been national champs before. So
they go to the NCAA tournament once every 5 years or so, and it's huge up there. It's the only game in town.
Gotta root for 'em.
Congrats to them.
Burlington's a great town, too.
Bringing a little joy to women who have survived some very difficult times.
With the help of our friends at Virginia Credit Union, our Maggie Marshall headed over to the YWCA for this Month of Giving surprise.
I'm here at the YWCA. It's an organization here in Richmond that does so much for the community, from helping with early childhood education to different resources to empower women. But it also helps those in the community that are impacted by domestic violence. And we here at CBS 6 are going to go surprise them as part of our Month of Giving. So come along with me. I am actually here on behalf of CBS 6 today. I don't know if you know, but we actually do something called Month of Giving, where every day in December we give back to different people and organizations. And obviously I've covered the work that you guys do. I try to help where I can with the work that you guys do, and I know it's amazing. And so I heard you guys were in need of some gift cards for the domestic violence shelter.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to give you guys some to give out to your clients.
Thank you so much. much. This is amazing. We are in such need.
We are.
And it's not us, right? All of our survivors that come in the door need these gift cards to be able to do the things they want to do, right? Survive and thrive.
Well, like I said, we love getting to give back to you guys. I know y'all's hearts and all the great work that you guys do on a day-to-day basis, and so it was a no-brainer.
Yes.
It was a no-brainer. So,
Thank you so much. It was awesome.
happy to crash your meeting. Sorry, guys. Cynthia knew. Had to crash it really quick, but
Thank you.
YWCA on a mission, and so is Maggie. Some
Yes.
really special people doing some great work there. Really.
So good to see, and happy holidays to everybody.
You're here. All right, let's check back in with Zach and find out about when we're going to get this changing weather, the cooler weather coming in.
Yeah, it's going to come in 2 waves. The first wave is going to be later on tonight. The second, more significant wave will be arriving Friday into Saturday. Let's see how we did on this 18th day of December. 45 this morning with some patchy fog around, and 62 degrees this afternoon. Outside right now, we're still sitting at 58, so it's relatively mild, a westerly wind at 3 miles per hour. Looking at other temperatures here across Virginia, there's a big range. We've got mid to upper 60s, southern and southeastern Virginia, and then upper 40s and low 50s back to the north and west. Some cooler air settled down into the northern part of Virginia, so technically there's a little bit of a boundary right here. But the real cold front is still back to the north and west. On the other side of that, we drop into the 30s and 40s. Still not that unusual. This is pretty typical for this time of the year. The real cold stuff is up here in central Canada, where we drop into single digits down close to 0 degrees. That's the air mass that will eventually move into the mid-Atlantic. It will certainly modify before it gets here, but it's still going to result in high temperatures that remain in the 30s for back-to-back days, Sunday and Monday. All right, we got some light rain stretching from around Central Point to Bagby, back down through Doswell and western sections of Hanover, up toward Lake Ann and Ladysmith, some sprinkles there. Some showers, little bouts of heavier rainfall, Goochland to just south of Cartersville down toward Cumberland. And then a couple of thunderstorms have developed here from Lynchburg and near Appomattox to Brookneal, and then down the 29 corridor from Danville all the way up to around Gretna, and then back toward Martinsville. All of this continues to move from west to east. It's the first wave of rainfall. The second one is tied a little bit more closely to the cold front. Any snow with this is going to stay to the north. This will just be rain for us. All right, lows tonight, mid to upper 30s to our north, upper 30s to around 40 elsewhere, and then high temperatures for tomorrow. Mid to upper 40s across areas north of Richmond, around 50 elsewhere, but it's going to feel cooler than that because of a pretty brisk northeasterly wind that'll be running at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. We will have the benefit of some sunshine, but it's just going to be kind of a blustery day. Rest of tonight, these little areas of rainfall will continue to move through. The cold front will move through right around 1 o'clock in the morning. Skies will quickly clear behind the front, and again, some sunshine tomorrow, but breezy and colder. As we get into Friday, more clouds will come into the area. A chilly day on Friday, and a chance for a few sprinkles, mainly late, probably well after dark on Friday. And additional shower, just a couple sprinkles possible on Saturday. The big story here is not going to be the precipitation, but the temperatures as we go from pretty normal stuff tomorrow and Friday down to a pretty cold stretch of weather Saturday through Tuesday, the coldest days, Sunday and Monday with highs in the 30s. Tuesday is Christmas Eve, 42 degrees and dry, and then 46 on Christmas Day. And right now it looks like there may be a chance for a few showers late Christmas Day afternoon and evening. All right, everything you're looking at right there in terms of precipitation would be in the form of rain as it stands right now. Pretty cold though, overnight lows down in the low 20s for a couple mornings and highs in the 30s Sunday and Monday.
CBS 6 Sports, sponsored by Toyota.
Good evening, everyone. VCU puts their 5-game winning streak on the line tonight in their only true non-conference road game of the season when they tip off with New Mexico later tonight. This is the first meeting between these programs since 2008, but head coach Ryan Odom is 4-0 all-time against the Lobos from his other stops. New Mexico's home court is called the Pit for several good reasons. It's one of the most intimidating atmospheres in the game, something like coming to play the Rams at the Siegel Center.
when we get to that, I'll tell them it's a tough place to play, right? It's one of the toughest in all of college basketball. It's packed every night. They obviously have a great coach and a great team. They were in the NCAA tournament last year as well, and so going to be another, tough environment to play in, and hopefully will prep us, for what's to come in our conference.
The Richmond Spiders are just down the road tonight in Williamsburg, taking on William & Mary. Both teams struggling this year, each losing 3 of their last 4. The Spiders have yet to win a true road game this year, while the Tribe has yet to lose at home. Up in Charlottesville, the Cavaliers host 21st-ranked Memphis. The Tigers are coming off an overtime win over Clemson, while UVA has dropped 2 of their last 3. UVA has yet to lose at the JPJ this year, but tonight could be their toughest test of the non-conference schedule. We'll update all of these games coming up tonight at 11. The Commanders opened the 21-day practice window on defensive tackle Jonathan Allen today, which could allow him to return to the field after tearing a pectoral muscle in October. Allen returned to practice today. The team has 3 weeks to determine if he can return to the field or go back to injured reserve. His injury was not as bad as initially thought, and the 2-time Pro Bowler could get back as soon as this Sunday against the Eagles. Former Liberty quarterback Caden Salter is headed west to replace Shedeur Sanders at Colorado. According to published reports, Salter has totaled nearly 6,500 yards of total offense in the last 2 years with the Flames and 66 touchdowns. The Flames went to the Fiesta Bowl last year. Salter entered the transfer portal after last season before deciding to return eventually to Lynchburg. Chesterfield's Denny Hamlin got a win today and didn't have to drive a single lap. His team's lawsuit against NASCAR can move forward thanks to a preliminary injunction that allows 2311 Racing and Front Row Motorsports to compete as chartered teams next season while continuing with their antitrust suit against that same charter system. The teams argue that NASCAR's charters are a type of monopoly, limiting opportunity within the sport. NASCAR does have the right to appeal today's decision. That is the latest from the Toyota Sports Desk.
Big umbrella or little umbrella tonight?
Depends on who's going with you. Little umbrella if it's just you, But yeah, we've got some rain coming in. And it's not going to be coming in sideways or anything, so it should be okay with a normal one. And there may be a few rumbles of thunder, especially south of about Petersburg. 50 the high tomorrow, so definitely cooler than it has been, and it just gets colder heading toward the upcoming weekend. 41 Saturday, 36 Sunday, and 37 on Monday. I don't see any issues for Santa and his reindeer coming in Tuesday night. That looks okay.
Yeah. And so I'll just go with the galoshes and the small umbrella. Thank you for watching. We'll see you at 7:30.